The habitual pattern, the habitual reaction, so it is kind of a loop, it's never ending kind of autopilot, let's say, mood. And if you look at that, whatever this negative, the habitual, the pattern, it is nothing but it's a thoughts. So everything what we are doing is first the thought arise, and we start to kind of the follow. It's almost like some child. So there was a time, I think, decade ago in Nepal. So there were so many child were disappearing. Let's say, the child kidnapping, and the small child have this tendency. When you see some new people or they try to play with you, and they just kind of run toward that people, that person, or he or she show you some lollipop, the small child, or maybe give a small gift, so start to kind of running toward that person, and then maybe she will kidnap it, So I'm just giving some example, the metaphor. So what really happened is this, the same thought pattern is kind of arising, and that so-called the person who is into this the addiction or into some negative habitual pattern, so we are following the thoughts, and then that thought is kind of controlling our behavior, let's say. So it's no matter you say some very harsh words, some people use very, let's say, negative words, or maybe loud or sound, like a kind of the habits. Some people lie all the time, let's say. Some people talk bad about all their colleagues, and just complaining about everything. So that's also habitual pattern. So if you look at a little deeper, why is she speaking like this? Why he is speaking like this? It's not like he is just speaking, because there is a thought. There's always a thought behind or before he or she speak. No matter lying or gossiping or talking bad about other people. So same with some people have this really negative action, let's say, and always fighting, or drinking, or alcohol, or any other, like maybe some are cheating their wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. So those are considered as a negative, and then the habit, and sometimes they repeat it many times. So even the action or the behavior is driven by these particular thoughts. The interesting about this, just observing the arising and dissolving thoughts, just observing, and that's one of the mindful meditation technique. Just observing or mindful of any thought, no matter the good or bad thought arise, just observe, not identifying, not engaging, not involving, not elaborating it. And the matter of fact that every thoughts are impermanent, it changes. And whatever arises, it bound to dissolve. So every thoughts are arising and dissolving, arising and dissolving. You need a kind of long training for that. So because as I told you, no matter the negative speech or negative action or even negative thought, thinkings, so it could be negative, it could be positive, but not engaging or attaching to these thoughts. And especially for those who have a addiction problem, who have this the negative habitual pattern. So beauty of this negative thought is it is impermanent and it should be dissolved. Must be dissolved in that very moment. And what really happened is that most of the time we attach to this and we identify, and we are not letting that thought to be dissolved. In reality, it's dissolving because it is impermanent. But we have this illusion that we are kind of we are the same, and that is the problem with us. That every thought is kind of the linear, and it's a kind of permanent. That's what we think, and we are kind of prolonging that negative thought, and then that's why this negative, the speech and the actions are kind of continually in the loop. So just by observing that arising and dissolving, and when you don't identify, that means no matter the negative thought arises, you don't attach, you don't identify. So what happens is it dissolves itself. So once it dissolves, the more you practice, the more you see it is not you, it is not yours, and it is impermanent. In matter of time, you are liberating. Let's say you are liberating from all this negative speech, negative action, and negative behaviors, and the so-called all the addictions, and it's all arise from this particular thoughts which you are identifying. So just by observing, so you will see that the reality of this as an impermanent and as a not yourself.